Unbelievable news is coming out from President Trump's administration while he was flying on Air Force One.
As I'm looking at the whole Gaza Strip right now, and it's a mess. It's a real mess. And I'd like Egypt to take people, and I'd like Jordan to take people. You're talking about probably 1.5 million people, and we just clean out that whole thing. It's over the centuries that's many, many conflicts that side. And I don't know, something has to happen, but it's literally a demolition site right now. Almost everything's demolished, and people are dying there. So I'd rather get involved with some of the Arab nations and build housing in a different location where they can maybe live in peace. Temporarily, or it could be either. It could be temporarily, could be long term.
For the first time, we are hearing a real day-after plan for Gaza. One that brings victory for Israel and a decisive defeat for Hamas, the Muslim Brotherhood, Qatar, Iran. President Trump has floated the idea of relocating Gaza's terror-supporting Islamo-Nazi population to other Arab countries, maybe Jordan or Egypt. Last week the idea was Indonesia. This is a game changer, an idea that I've been advocating for since 2005. And finally it's being taken seriously at the highest levels by President Trump. The Trump plan is a real solution for Gaza. His recent statement aboard Air Force One shows a bold vision for the future. As he says, and I quote, "I'd like Egypt to take people. You're talking about probably 1.5 million people, and we just clean out that whole thing and say, it's over." End quote. So Trumpian. But this isn't just a flippant suggestion. It's a bold step towards ensuring the safety of Israelis while providing an alternative for Gaza's jihadi, educated Islamo-Nazi population. Trump's vision is about creating a clean slate, as he says, in Gaza, where Israelis can finally live in security, no longer threatened by being massacred, raped, or kidnappings from our enemy Islamo-Nazi population in Gaza. And this idea isn't far-fetched. In fact, a Ramallah-based polling company found that over 50% of Gazans want to leave Gaza. These are Gazans who are tired of living under Hamas's brutal rule, and they don't want to remain in a destroyed Gaza. Trump's direction is finally based on reality, to provide a better life for the Gazans and to protect Israelis. During my recent trip to Washington, D.C., I spoke directly with U.S. congressmen and senators about this idea. I suggested leveraging America's aid to Egypt to pressure Egypt to open their border with Gaza, because Egypt is flagrantly violating international asylum law by refusing to let Gazans escape a war zone. The United States has tremendous influence over Egypt, giving it massive financial aid that it provides annually. All President Trump has to do is threaten to withhold that aid unless Egypt opens its border and allows Gazans to leave, which basically is Egypt following international law. Let me remind you, Egypt has no problem accepting billions of dollars in U.S. aid while refusing to act as a responsible neighbor according to international law. And this is unacceptable. America can and should use its leverage to save lives and end the terror threat emanating from Gaza. Let me remind you, the Biden administration did not care one iota about the lives of Gazans. They just wanted to keep them in Gaza, living under Hamas's jihadist rule as a constant threat to Israel. The Biden administration policy wasn't just immoral, it was strategically disastrous, and I spoke about this many a times. By blocking the exit of Gazans and refusing to hold Egypt accountable, Biden and Blinken ensured that Hamas remained a ticking time bomb for the region and the world, using their own citizens as human shields. Remember, the Biden administration supported Ukrainian refugees to leave Ukraine, Syrian refugees to leave Syria, but did everything in their power to ensure that Gazans remained in the Gaza war zone, where again they were literally being used as human shields by Hamas. Allowing Gazans to finally leave would have saved so many lives. So why were they so against the Gazans leaving? Because to Biden and Blinken, it was about keeping them in Gaza as an open wound to perpetually threaten Israel. Meanwhile, President Trump's approach is the polar opposite. His administration is exploring practical solutions that save lives, protect Israelis, and ensure that terror-supporting populations can no longer endanger Israel and freedom-loving Israelis from Gaza. By using America's leverage over nations like Egypt and Jordan and Qatar, the U.S. can help relocate Gaza's terror-supporting population to places more aligned with their jihadist Islamic ideology. This approach also serves as a warning to Hamas's sponsors, Iran, Qatar, Turkey, and Egypt, that their actions will have consequences. And let's be clear, Gaza isn't the end of the story. This same solution will eventually need to be applied here in Judea and Samaria. The Palestinian Authority, which rules in Judea and Samaria, just like Hamas, has proven time and again that it is not a partner for peace. It is also a genocidal, jihadi terrorist organization that supports terror against Israel. Just yesterday, Mahmoud Abbas congratulated one of the horrendous murderers that was freed. The day of the failed two-state solution is over. So what needs to happen? Relocation of Gazans is the only path forward. Moving Gaza's terror-supporting population to other Arab nations is not just a solution. It's the only moral and practical way forward. This ensures the safety and security of Israelis while giving Gazans a chance to live in a country that aligns with their genocidal Islamic jihadist ideology that they get from their mother's milk and far away from us. Accountability for Hamas sponsors nations like Qatar, Egypt, Iran, and Turkey must be held accountable for supporting Hamas. They should bear the burden of resettling Gaza's population and ensuring that those people no longer pose a threat to Israel. Permanent Israeli control of Gaza. The ultimate solution for Israel's security is full and permanent control of Gaza. This isn't just about today. It's about ensuring that there's never again an October 7th tragedy. Ever again. And it doesn't matter what country says no to Trump's plan. President Trump has the leverage of the U.S. government over all of these Islamic jihadi supporting countries, whether Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, or Qatar. Let them say no and pay the price. And then Trump should move on to the next jihadi supporting country. Then let them say no and pay the price until Trump moves on to the next country. And wouldn't it be poetic justice if Trump threatens Qatar to take in the Islamo-Nazi jihadi Gazans, since Qatar is the head of the Muslim Brotherhood, funder of Hamas, and directly responsible for the October 7th invasion, massacre, mass raping, and kidnapping? Senior Israeli officials have confirmed that Trump's statements about relocating Gazans are not a slip of the tongue. This is part of a broader strategy coordinated with Israel. As journalist Amit Segal tweeted, senior Israeli officials, Trump's statement about the migration of Gazans to Muslim countries is not a slip of the tongue, but part of a much broader move than it seems, coordinated with Israel. Please God, let that be true. And it's about time. For years, we've been stuck in a cycle of appeasement and failed peace process solutions. And finally, we're seeing leadership that prioritizes common sense and morality. Americans need to understand that this isn't just about Israel's fight. The jihadist ideology that threatens Israel also threatens the United States and the entire freedom-loving world. If the United States wants to avoid suffering the same horrors we experienced on October 7th, it must fully back Israel's fight and hold Hamas and its jihadi sponsors in the Middle East accountable. As President Trump said himself, quote, something has to happen in Gaza. It's literally a demolition site right now, end quote. He's right. But the only way forward is to ensure that the terror-supporting population in Gaza is moved elsewhere and Israel retains permanent control of Gaza forever. And it's our ancestral homeland. Liberation. Islamo-Nazis out of Gaza and a Jewish resettlement all across the Gaza Strip. That is the only way we achieve total victory against our Islamo-Nazi enemies in response to the vicious, brutal October 7th massacre against us back in 2023. And then America should begin deporting all Islamo-Nazi terror supporters from America, because they are not just after us here in Israel. They are after you too. President Trump's willingness to explore bold solutions is exactly what the world and the Middle East need right now. This isn't just about saving Israel. It's about protecting the entire free world from the evil jihadist terror. Let's make sure this critical information reaches everyone, especially our elected officials. And it's up to us to make sure that this solution becomes permanent and not temporary. The stakes are too high to settle for anything else less than total victory. And I just want to put everything into perspective, because I've been very, very critical the past week of Trump's sponsored ceasefire extortion deal. And I don't take anything back. You don't make deals with the devil. You don't make deals with Nazis. You don't make deals with Islamo-Nazis. You make them pay the price immediately. And that deal was totally immoral. That doesn't mean he doesn't have a bigger plan. But I'm always going to be here to call out immorality and truth. In the meantime, everyone, Am Yisrael Chai. Remember, our future is bright. There are going to be ups and downs. But our future is bright. Am Yisrael Chai. If you are not yet a subscriber to our daily Pulse of Israel videos with a belief-based, inspiring, politically incorrect truth, what are you waiting for? Go to pulseofisrael.com and click to subscribe. And we are a donor-based organization. We need your donations. It's thanks to you our videos can get seen, and we're heavily censored and shadow banned across social media platforms. And we need your donations in order to be seen. So every once in a while, whether big or small, send us a donation by clicking donate on pulseofisrael.com. Shalom, everyone, and thanks for watching.
Pulse of Israel, frontline videos from the Holy Land. Support our work by donating today.